Alright, welcome to the build table. These are the parts of AirFox 470 RC helicopter, which is inspired by H-125M Scout helicopter AS350. Now I'm going to give you the overview to the parts before the build start, but do remember these are the very first prints, and normally after the first prints, when I assemble them, I may need to make some adjustments to the design. There are some changes, some revisions, until I am very much satisfied that you all will get a very relaxing and straightforward build experience for my RC helicopter fuselage. So these are the first prototypes, and rest assured that once you purchase this kit, you will have the final prints that will not need any modifications, and in case if there are any additions, you may be able to get those as well. So starting with the canopy, this is the canopy right here, okay, and you can easily add the transparent PET sheets, I believe, to make transparent windows. Okay, then we have the front part of the fuselage with the top that you can remove, because you have to slide the mechanics in. So if I close this part, there's no way after gluing that you can actually slide the mechanics in. So I left it open. This will be mounted later with 4 screws and nuts. Then we have a mid fuselage which has everything, including the cooling gills right here, okay, and places for mounting the additional accessories. Then we have the rear fuselage and the tail boom and the tail unit. Now we have skids right here, okay, and accessories like base plate for your mechanics, okay, a battery tray, horizontal stabilizers, mechanics top joiners, and a little snap lock to lock the canopy, because this one will open and come down and lock, okay, so that you can install the battery easily. And to open the canopy, I went with the living hinges, which is printed in TPU, very nice and flexible. I have used the living hinges, TPU living hinges on my CH53C Stallion. The canopy opens downward, and so far the living hinges are doing absolutely a perfect job. The benefit of TPU living hinges is they are extremely strong, heat resistant, they don't break, and they are very flexible, so you can actually open and close the canopy very easily, and they are very easy to stick with CA glue on your parts, 3D printing parts. Normally if you go with the 3D printed parts hinges with the screw or other hinges, there are chances they will break. Okay, after that we have, yes, the special part of this helicopter, where you have other goodies, scale goodies like searchlight, we have a winch, we have side wings, we have weapons, a machine gun and rocket launcher, we have front camera and radar system, we have antennas, handles, cable cutter. So these are the goodies. Let's talk about the tools. When you want to prepare the 3D printed fuselage, obviously you will need screwdrivers, nippers, okay. I use this electric screwdriver a lot, very useful, very handy. Nipper to cut and modify the parts, pliers, nose pliers, deburring tool, and very handy is this Dremel, handheld Dremel, because there are often chances that you will need to clean up some of the parts for the best fit. This is a very handy tool with more bits right here, as you can see. If you don't have access to this, don't worry, you can always have a number of different files, manual files handy, okay, and you can always use the files on these parts should you need to fix them and file them before fixing. Also, don't forget you need to have a good supply of CA glue, okay. I have this, which I can find very cheap in the market. And sometimes where the CA glue does not work and the parts are really being stubborn, this clear epoxy 2-ton super strong AB glue works really well. And last but not least, don't forget one of the most important tools when building 3D printed fuselage or 3D printed parts is the 3D printing pen. I have this G-Tech GT something, and it has been with me for years, and it's a very useful tool. Sometimes I don't have to modify design for some little changes that I want to make, I can just directly print on those parts and make changes for my helicopters as I want, or build something new, or attach something new, or it can make very strong bond between two parts as well. One more thing you would like to have is a soldering iron. Okay, on the base plate, when you put your mechanics on, you can see when I add the mechanics, you can have 2 screws here, and that's more than enough. So you can put 1 screw here and put a nut down there. Should you not want to use a nut, you can easily do a threaded insert here, just like here. As you can see, I put the threaded inserts. All right, and once you have the inserts in, you can simply put the screws and secure your mechanics on the base plate. So to put the inserts, threaded inserts, you need to have threaded inserts, and of course you will need to have a soldering iron. These are all the tools that I wanted to introduce. These are kind of tools that you should have if you are into doing 3D printing and building 3D printed parts and assembling 3D printed parts to build 3D printed products. We will start something very simple and easy, and that is to glue the tail parts together. So all you need to do is put in some CA glue and then join these 2 parts together. I forgot to bring the tissue paper. You should have tissue paper for cleaning the excess glue. Normally just putting it upside down and leaving it will do the job as well. And it's already done actually. Okay, I will still leave it upside down like this so it will dry out more. Next step will be to put this one on the rear fuselage, and once again is the same drill. Okay, put in some glue, CA glue here, and put it on top of this and leave it standing just like this. With the design tolerance, you see everything fits really nicely. If your printer does not have this good tolerance, I printed it on X1C, Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon, and it has a really very nice tolerance. Should you have another printer which does not have this good tolerance, I am confident that I have actually designed these parts in a way that you will not have any issues joining these main parts. Alright, so what I did is I also dropped some glue from inside on those joints just to make sure it gets very, very nice and strong. Okay? Alrighty. Now. Next part, of course, the rear fuselage, which has the cooling gills as well. And all you need to do is repeat the same thing. Drop some CA glue on the tongues of this long part you have built, the tail part, and then just put it on top of it and let it dry. Just make sure to pull these 2 sides together onto the part and hold it down slightly with a little bit of force. And man, it is nice and big, huh? Look at that. Nice and big, mashallah. The next step, of course, again is the same thing, and just that what you need to do is join it in a way that it will match these 2 points right here. Okay, these 2 should match because this is where the base plate will slide in. Alright, so the front is also glued, and the best way to glue it, I found, is that you insert the base plate, which will align these 2 pieces perfectly, and then you can drop CA glue here, and on the bottom. Do not drop the glue right here in this seam, in this line, because if the glue reaches to the base plate, it will become permanent there, and you will have a big issue in your hands on your hands. Okay, so now that it has been glued, I can just take the base plate out, and I know that this is, see, very perfectly aligned. So base plate goes in and out, slides in and out really nicely. Now the next step I'm gonna do is very simple. I'm gonna put this on. Now you know the reason I have kept this one open with the screws is because if I make it permanent here, you will never be able to slide your mechanics in, see? So you can remove this. You have 4 screws here, and you know, on the base plate the mechanics will slide in nice and good. Okay, and after the mechanics is in, you can put it up and put 4 screws. All right, now do remember one thing, that the canopy will be glued to this piece using 2 of the TPU living hinges, just like this. Okay, one here and one here. So later this whole piece will become a part of the canopy, the nose, okay, this cockpit area. This will become a part of this, and you can always remove, you know, the whole part together, and you know, using 4 screws you can put it back or remove anytime you want. Make sure you get yourself some M3 screws, as the holes are virgin. I mean, I didn't do any filing in there. What's wrong with me today? So I can just put the screws directly. I don't have to put the nut down there, because for now I just want to align this piece here properly. Okay, before I do this, I'm gonna add this clamp, and let's test this clamp and see how it works. Ah, nice. A little loose, but I'm sure it should work just fine. If it is loose, what you can do is just heat up this part a little bit, you know, and then press it down from here in the, you know, middle here, not from the front, okay, from the middle, and you will have nice and tight clamp here. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to insert the clamp right here. Okay, once you put the clamp in, you can always put 1 screw here, but I don't feel the need of it. It's really nice and tight there. Now I'm gonna just align the canopy, okay, and see, the clamp works. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and let's align the canopy nicely. Yeah, there are some gaps, but this is 3D printed. I can now push it nicely. Okay, as you can see, it's really nice now. I can push it nicely, and I can add the living hinges, just like this. All right, now that the canopy is done, I think next we can do easily is the landing skids. Okay, so landing skids are gonna be easy. However, you have to keep in mind their orientation, because they are not straight, they are slightly tilted towards the helicopter. So if you are looking at the helicopter from the left side, okay, this is not going to be straight, but tilted towards the helicopter a little bit. And having to have that, you will pick up one of these, okay, the long parts, the pipes, okay. So you'll pick up one of long pipes, and you will add it here on the back. And another small pipe has a cutout here. As you can see, there is a cutout on this one. This cutout is to join with this step, which is a step for the pilot. As you can see, when you fit it, it actually joins with the step right here, and you can drop a drop of CA glue here. So they will fit only one way, hopefully. And once you have this, now you have these places to insert your landing gear, and once you push them in, you can glue them permanently. Okay, or if you don't want to do permanent, just push them in. They should be strong enough there. This tool is really handy, man. You should have one. Wireless, no cables. Okay, now see what I was talking about? It actually goes in really nice and easy. So I will see how much deep I can push it. All right, that's all the way it goes, about this much. Okay, so I will put one in. All right, and the second one I have to, just a moment, give me a moment, let me just add the second one right here. Yeah, see, now it goes in all the way nicely. You want this to go all the way in so that you can fit your landing skid on it properly. Now you see, if you push it in, it fits really nice. And now all you need to do is drop CA glue, a drop of it, both in and out. I would not do here. Most probably I'll just leave it like this because it's nice and tight. It's not gonna come out. And if I break the landing gear, I can just pull it out and replace it by a new 3D printed one. I will just glue this part here. All right, skids are installed, and after skids, obviously, right now it's tail heavy. Okay, after we have battery mechanics, it will not be tail heavy and it will sit nice and good. MashaAllah, look at this. It's starting to look like a beautiful machine already. Right, so I'm just gonna open it nice and slow, and look at that. What do you know? MashaAllah. Okay, so it opens and it actually hangs here nice and good. So now what you can do is, whenever you want to insert the batteries, you just put it up, okay, and strap the battery in. Now, in order to strap the battery in, obviously you have to install the battery tray. All right, so I'm just gonna put the battery tray like this right here and drop 1 or 2 drops of CA glue. Now, because battery tray sits like this in its place, so all I need to do is you will find 2 little lines like grooves for the battery tray to sit in. Okay, so just drop the CA glue here, and the taller part, as you can see, the taller part is going to go on the back side. Okay, and if you put the taller part on the front, it will be tilted backward. You don't want that. You want it to be perfectly horizontal. Okay, so just remember this. Now you can see it actually fits nice, and I'll just leave it here, drop some CA glue here. While the glue is drying on the battery tray, it's time I can install the horizontal stabilizers. Okay, for which it's super easy. Drop some CA glue here, okay, and add your horizontal stabilizer here. Drop some glue and add the stabilizer here. Remember to keep, because they're hollow, okay, so remember to keep the open part inside and the closed one outside. All right, now the only thing left is you have to make sure they are in the same, you know, horizontal way. They are not going down or going up. So while the glue is drying, you can look at them. Naturally they go downward. Okay, so if you want them to be straight, you have to just hold them until glue dries. You have to hold them straight. Now let's talk about the best part about this design. That is, you're getting a helicopter 3-in-1 in one go. That is the feature, inshallah, I'm confident you're gonna love. So you're basically getting 3-in-1 helicopter. In its base form, just like this, assembled, this is your civilian AS350 helicopter. You can install your mechanics, you can configure it, and you can fly it just like this as an AS350. You can paint it as a civilian helicopter, TV crew helicopter, or a police helicopter. You can paint it as you like. Number 2, if you want to turn it into a rescue helicopter or a military scout with attack capabilities, that's where these goodies will come in. Okay, so now you can customize with these goodies. So first let me show you how you can turn it into a rescue helicopter. For instance, you want it to be a rescue helicopter. For that, you have this camera on the front, which is a standard utility. You can keep it just like this, and you can add it right here under the nose with one screw, one self-tapping screw, okay? After that, you have this for your searchlight, and searchlight is right here, which you will actually assemble with 2 screws going into the searchlight just like this, so you can see it will move up and down. And basically later you can drill hole in this and add an LED light in here, so that you will have a proper searchlight which you can move up and down and left and right. So to move it left and right, of course, you have to add another screw, and now you can see this kind of assembly. All right, it will move left and right and down and up. So once this is assembled, you can actually add the searchlight here. All right, and you can add your winch. All right, normally it's not a working winch. I will just add a thread and a hook for graphics or scale, for the sake of a scale only, graphics and sake of a scale only. And this one will actually go and stick here. Have your searchlight on the left side of the helicopter and winch on the right side of the helicopter. All right, so let's assemble the searchlight very, very quickly and see how it looks like. Okay, so searchlight have been assembled. It goes up, it goes down, you can adjust it, and it moves left and right. And now all you need to do is simply add it here and put one screw on the top. That is that. Now comes the most exciting part for this helicopter. You can turn it into a military scout helicopter, which is weaponized, which has weapons to reply to your enemies and go on missions. So you will pick up these wings, weapon wings, okay, and you will add them to these pieces. All right, and make sure that when you add them, okay, and when you look at the wing, it should be going upward, not downward. So like when you install it on the helicopter, it will go upward. Okay, so this wing will be installed here and you will glue it here. All right, so I'm just gonna glue it later, not now. And now, where do you want to add the rocket launcher, on the right side or the left side, or the machine gun on the right or left? It's all up to you. I'm gonna add the rocket launcher at the right side. All you need to do is put it here, okay, and drop one screw right here. All right, there you go, does the job. Now why I have screws here, because I plan to release more different types of weapons and different types of add-ons for this helicopter, so you may want to use the screw only. Okay, so later when you have more add-ons, you just remove the screw and add another add-on. Keep the options open, don't glue it, okay, but you may want to glue the wing right here. Okay, this is okay to glue because the wing will stay there. If you don't want to glue, you can use a double-sided tape inside, okay, just to hold it here, so later if you break the wings, you can replace them. But don't worry about that, because I designed this one in a way, the base, that it's not gonna glue here. Okay, as you can notice, here have screw holes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So before you add the weapon wing here, what I want is, once you confirm this is the right side, okay, as I mentioned, you have to check when you install it here, the wing is in a way that is going upward, it's inclined upward. Okay, so once you confirm this, all you need to do is remove the wing and use 4 screws, 4 self-tapping screws. And if you look at the fuselage, you will find there are 4 holes here. So matching the holes, you will install the wing base, weapon wing base here, and then you will install the other piece on the other side. And after that, all you need to do is, whenever you change a weapon, you just add it here. What I'm gonna do is add 1 screw here, so you can just using a self-tapping screw, just lock it without gluing it. All right, this you can easily do it. Just heat up 1 screw and, you know, put it in, and it will do the job. Okay, so I have my machine gun installed here, and the bases are installed, as you can see on the left. I just need to install it right here. The machine gun, plug it here, and this wing plug at the left side. Okay, and now I have this helicopter with weapons. How cool is that? All right, so after install the camera, so now you have a camera with LiDAR and radar and whatnot, laser finders and stuff, and you have a military scout with a serious machine gun pod on the right side, 3 barrels. That's probably a 12 millimeter, I would say, or 7.62 millimeter, what you call it. And we have a rocket pod at the left side. So now you have your military scout in your hands, the same helicopter that you turned into a military version from the rescue helicopter, and it is ready. It's still, if you want everything together, you can still add, I mean, it doesn't matter, you can still add one searchlight here, makes it look even more advanced, high-tech, okay? And you can also add the winch on the left side, does not matter. And it actually looks really very badass helicopter with all the goodies on. And don't forget, you still have to add these pipes here, all right? So glue these pipes here, all right, at the handles, and glue these antennas down. There are places for this. And then you have this one badass helicopter in your hand. All right, as you can see, the helicopter fuselage is ready to take the mechanics. I have painted everything, and I also took the liberty to install the transparent PET on the windows and the windshield. Now I'm actually gonna design the windshield wipers as well, but hey, look at that, with the transparent windows, it's actually looking really nice, right? Okay, so now in order to install the mechanics, this is gonna take the Flywing small mechanics, and I have 4 rotor head, main rotor head. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is just remove this. I just put these screws. Here you go. You can see inside I actually first put some blue tack because the windshield was taking a lot of struggle to push in. Basically, if you, according to my, so what I learned according to my experience, if you take the PET sheet, transparent sheet, which is thinner, it will be easier to bend and it will not resist too much. Mine was slightly thick, so it resisted a lot, so I had to put a lot of blue tack inside. After that, I used the 3D pen, and using a filament, I just kind of, you know, made it permanent right there, so hopefully it will not come off. The rest of these on the windows side, they are actually done with the transparent tape, transparent double-sided tape. Okay, so looks good, as you can see, looks really nice. All right, and of course top, as you can see, it's opening very well, no issues at all. All right, so in order to install the mechanics, the first thing we need is the plate, which is inside. Okay, so bring the plate out, and I have installed the threaded inserts already. Okay, so first thing we need to do is put the mechanics on. So just slide the mechanic on the base plate and put in 2 screws. Make sure these little tiny screws have Loctite on them. Okay, once the base plate has installed, now we have to install the parts right here on top to secure the mechanics on the top, otherwise it will rattle inside the fuselage, and you know, you will experience a beautiful crash. So I basically designed these parts, and after installing on top right here, they will be able to slide into the sliding locks inside. So these tongues on the base plate will slide in at the bottom side of the fuselage, and these will slide on the top side of the fuselage, effectively securing the mechanics inside the fuselage and will not let it rattle inside. Basically, there is one hole on the mechanics right here on the back, which will take a M2.5, I believe, M2.5 screw. So you might want to have one handy. And for the next one right here on the front, you will have to drill one small hole inside the mechanic's silicone nylon plate. So you will have to do that, because without drilling that hole, you will not be able to put the screw in. So basically, if you can put, if you can remove the main rotor head, it will be much easier to put, but I'm able to put these in without removing the metal rotor head. There you go. I was able to secure both easily without removing the metal rotor head. So one part here, one part here. All right, now that the mechanics is ready, okay, top parts are installed, base plate is installed. I have also filed these top parts a bit, okay. Before you go any further, I would suggest you run the tail rotor cable inside the boom before you install the mechanics. Connect the tail rotor connector to this ESC here, and then slide the mechanics in. In other of my helicopters, I normally connect the cable to the mechanics, slide the mechanic in, and bring the cable out there. So what you can do is very simple: put a thread from the tail boom, from the backside, from the motor area, and bring the thread here and tie. After that, tie the thread onto this cable and pull it back in after you install the mechanics. But today what I did is slightly different. I simply made the cable completely separate from the tail motor and the ESC, okay? So they have their respective connectors. So hopefully this will make my life easier. What I'm gonna do is give it a try. First, slide the tail rotor cable in. But what I will do is keep shaking and keep pushing the cable in. All right, let's see, where's the cable? Yes, cable is right there, and I can grab it and pull it until this connector is hanging there, okay? And I don't want this connector to go in. I will connect the tail motor so that the connector will not slip in. Okay, and pull out from here, and I'll just leave the motor here, okay? All right, now the life is going to be easier because I can just slide the mechanics in now. Okay, now I will align the bottom tongues first, okay? And once they start sliding in, then I will align the top tongues. Okay, and you can see, mashallah, it slides all the way back. So you will push it all the way back until it doesn't go any more back, okay? Because I have put a wall there to stop it at the right point. Now that the mechanics is in, you don't want it to slip out. You better put a self-tapping screw. I have left the holes for that. So you just need to put only 2 screws right here, and the mechanics will not slide out. So either this, or you can put 1 screw here, and there are 2 screws on top sliders as well. So you can put 1 on the right top slider and 1 on the bottom left tongue side, okay? So this will effectively secure the mechanics in there. Okay, now the mechanics secured. What I found, it was very easy to put 2 screws, self-tapping screws on the top sliders locks. Basically, if you have a longer screwdriver, you can actually easily put 1 screw from top. It's easier to put from top than from bottom because it's difficult to see the screw hole from the bottom. Next step is going to be to add the screw for the tail rotor, okay? So I'm going to add 3 screws for the tail rotor and secure the tail rotor right here. Once the tail rotor is secured, next you just need to do is check the CG, center of gravity. So let's say my battery will be always here, okay? And I have my canopy on. Just testing for now, okay? And I'm going to lift from here. And what do you know, mashallah, perfect CG, center of gravity, fully balanced helicopter. And put 1, 2, 3, 4 screws right here, okay? So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure that you have actually put the nuts inside there. Okay, so you must have put nuts under here in the supplied places, and then you can easily put in 4 screws to secure the canopy. So let me do this. Now, on the front, you have a camera as well. Well, it's a dummy, of course. And on the front side, for the windshield, I'm going to release windshield wipers. Okay. We have a cable cutter right here. You have seen the guns and ordnance already. We have steps for the pilot and passengers to climb in. We have vents for the ESC, both at the left and at the right side. We have more scale goodies. We have handles, antennas under the tail, proper strike saver, more details, more scale details, turbine exhaust with a pipe, and whatnot you have dreamed of. I have done my best to give you in this helicopter. Now, those who like to add LED lights, which I plan to do so, you will find at many places LED holders. All you need to do is, according to your LED diameter, drill a hole, run the cable inside, and install a LED. So one there on the tail boom, one on the tail, one on the back side here, then we have one at the bottom right here. Okay, and for the front LED lights, I have left 1 and 2 right here. MashaAllah, what a sweet helicopter it turned out. AirFox 470. Now, batteries are fully charged, and I am sweating like a horse. So let's bring it out and give it a flight and see how it flies.
Crash, rebuild, bounce back, that's what I do. Crash, rebuild, bounce back quick. We in the dirty South, ain't no one slick.